Hey Spirit Walkers, today we're going to be looking at Elemental Shaman on the Mythic Imperator Averzian fight and see how you can get the best out of your class on this fight. As one of my first videos, we're just going to talk through this as we go. We're going to start the fight here by using Stormkeeper about 3 seconds, Lightning Lava Burst about 2 seconds, and then we're going to pop Ascendant and do our normal opening rotation at the start of the fight. If you need help learning the Shaman rotation, I will probably do a separate video where I'll go through how you open the fight and how you get the most out of the start of the fight. So this isn't a tactic video, but generally speaking, the big change on this fight is that healers now have to dispel 2 debuffs on top of these shields to clear them and allow the tanks to hit the circle on the ad to stop the boss from claiming it and wiping the raid. That is generally the only thing that's going to wipe you on this fight, is if people don't get dispelled in time and you miss these circles. The only other thing is if you do not kill these Void Shapers in time when they are free. So now I'm looking over there, we've got 5 seconds until that one is up. So you'll see that I didn't use Stormkeeper until now. That's because Stormkeeper, although it is a 45-second cooldown, is best used here on these ads. See them coming in, I'm going to quickly Stormkeeper them all, and then I'm going to drop Earthquakes while there are still lots of ads over there. So once we get down to this small amount of ads, I'm going to stop dropping Earthquakes and I'm going to get ready to go back to using Elemental Blast. Elemental Blast is better as long as there are 4 targets only. If you go over 4 targets, then you should start using Earthquakes. So you see, as I swapped back to the boss, I also did an Elemental Blast. That's to get the Lightning Rod quickly back onto the boss. Lightning Rod causes the boss to take an additional 12% damage from all lightning bolts and chain lightnings and tempests you do. So making sure it's up on the boss as much as possible is good, but it's not like absolutely certain. You don't have to swap back onto the boss to quickly drop a tempest on him. Just making sure you've got it on there before you Stormkeeper all the ads can be useful, because all that damage is going to go straight back to the boss. So waiting here, it slammed on these ads so that we can kill them a bit faster. Something I'm noticing here is I'm letting Flame Shock drop a lot, so that's something I need to keep an eye on and try and keep Flame Shock up on the boss, because it will give me those Lava Surge procs that I can use to buff my other abilities. So the ads come out here. This time I've not used Stormkeeper or Ascendant. I'm going to wait for the ads to spawn and then pop them both together. This is because Ascendance increases the damage of your overload by 75%, and Stormkeeper automatically overloads your next chain lightnings. These obviously synergize really well, and you should always try and look to have Stormkeeper when you use Ascendance because of that massive damage increase it gives it. Here we're going into the intermission. This is another really good time on this fight to use Spirit Walker's Grace. You'll see I have an add-on there that shows me when Time Spiral is used, and that's really important to make sure I get the most out of Spirit Walker's Grace. Shaman is absolutely blessed with having this ability that just allows you to move and cast for like 15 seconds. Also, Time Spiral resets the cooldown on your Gust of Wind or on your Spirit Rush as well, depending on which one you take. So you see, this time I actually use Stormkeeper on cooldown, and that's because it's going to be off cooldown by the time the ads spawn. So you still don't want to lose those uses of Stormkeeper, you just want to hold on to them. Something that's important that I haven't mentioned yet is that when you come to fights like this, if you're progressing it the first time, the fight is going to last a lot longer than it is for me here. We're going to kill it here in under 5 minutes, and that is something that you should think about all the time, because if a fight's going to last less than 5 minutes, you're not going to get a second potion. You get your potion on pull, and then you have 5 minutes till it comes off cooldown. If you're not going to get a second potion, then you want to use your Ascendance as soon as possible. So you see here I've got it in 20 seconds. It's actually going to come up after we've nuked all these ads, which is a shame, but it's still going to be the best time to use it. So I've used Stormkeeper here. Hit all these ads, I've dropped a load of Earthquakes, and now I'm going to go back to boss. I'm going to say here that I do make what I would call a minor mistake. I'm going to use my Ascendance here and not wait for Stormkeeper. That is technically not correct. The boss still has 20% health. I'm definitely going to get another Stormkeeper out, but I'm not going to get another Ascendance out, and I'm not going to get a potion buffed Ascendance. I should still hold Ascendance until my Stormkeeper comes up, which will be coming up in 10 seconds. You'll see how much health the boss still has. I should be using them in sync there because I'm going to get the most damage out of it. Now I'm going to use the Stormkeeper, but I'm not actually going to get anything out of it. So yeah, I suppose the main key takeaway from this fight then would be Stormkeeper is most important to be used on ads, but you don't want to lose cast of it. You can see when ads are going to spawn by looking at timeline reminders, which we'll go through after this video. And to use Ascendants depending on how long the fight is going to last for you. So see, the boss is on 5 here. We'd make the call that we'll just take the ads away and we'll just finish the boss because we can finish the boss before the ad transforms and causes us any problems. The tank just needs to make sure none of the ads go near the boss because that will buff him with a defensive buff. And there you have it, so we've killed the boss there. Okay, so now we're going to take back into the game and I'm going to go through how you can sort of set up and get used to this fight. So we are back in the game. I'm going to bring up timeline reminders. So this is an add-on made by, I believe, Liquid. I don't know if you need the Patreon to be able to just look at it and use it by default. We obviously pay for it as a Mythic Progressing Guild because it's incredibly useful. But on here you can sort of see the timeline of how the boss's abilities are going to be used. So we're going to make sure we're just looking at Imperator or Mythic. We are. So let's look at this from an elemental perspective quickly. So we know that Stormkeeper has a 45-second cooldown. So we're going to be using it on pull and then it's going to come back up around here, which is after we hit the second ad. So this is about where Stormkeeper is going to be coming. The ads spawn when this Void Rupture goes off, like that's when the big ad comes out, and then afterwards all the little ads come out. So we know we're going to be using Stormkeeper around the sort of 50-second mark, around that sort of time. And then after that you've got 45 seconds before you can use it again. So if we just quickly add that on, that means it's going to be usable again at 135. So let's just have a quick look at where 135 would be. So 135 is here. So that is like before we're going to start getting all the D-spells and stuff. So then we go again and we're going to go 45 seconds from there. So if we had 5 seconds of that, that's 140. If we had 40 seconds to that, that's going to be about 220. So that's going to be up after the ads spawn if I was to use it there. So that means I'm going to miss uptime, or I'm going to not have Stormkeeper up when the ads are coming in. So some shamans will opt, in fact, if you look at this fight, the best shamans opt to just use Stormkeeper on cooldown on this fight now, but that's because their fight's only lasting about 4 minutes, so they might as well just get as many Stormkeepers out as possible. People who are progressing this and trying to get it down are going to be holding their Stormkeeper and Ascendants, because Ascendant comes up at 2 minutes, so that comes up around here. They're going to be holding it to use it on these ads as they spawn. Then you've got 2 minutes again until you get your next Ascendant, so that's coming up at 4 minutes, which is again coming up after these ads have already come out, which is why I showed you on the video. But after the 221, that means you've got 45 until the next one, so about 3 minutes and 5 seconds for the next Stormkeeper. So you might as well do it. And then you got another, so it'll be at 3 minutes 50. And you see that's coming up again right before these ads spawn, so you might as well hold it. After you've done that and you've got your Ascendants at 4 minutes, this is where you need to start thinking, right, is the boss still going to be alive at 5 minutes? Or should I be using Ascendants because the boss is going to die? Now that's a judgment call that you're just going to have to get used to making. Obviously if the boss is around, let's say 15-20% at that point and you have good DPS, you know you're probably going to kill it before you get to 5 minutes. So you might as well wait for the next Stormkeeper to come up, which if you use Stormkeeper about 350, or let's say more like 4 minutes, it's going to come up at 445. Ascendants also lasts 15 seconds. Let's just check. Yeah, 15 seconds. So if the fight is going to end before that 5 minute mark, and you can get Stormkeeper up at the same time as Ascendants, you use it one more time together, and then the boss dies. So let's think of a scenario where the boss is going to last 5 minutes. Instead, we're going to get to 445 when Stormkeeper comes up and Ascendants, and we're just going to wait because the boss is still going to die before I can get a third Ascendant out, or a fourth Ascendant out if you're counting the one to start the fight. So I'm going to wait for the 5 minute mark, and when we get to the 5 minute mark, I'm now thinking, right, are we going to get the ads, or are we not going to get the ads? Am I going to kill them, or are we not going to kill them? The boss, let's say it's your first time killing it, you're going to take like 6 minutes maybe. That means you can get the 5-minute Ascendance out. So you might as well wait for these ads to spawn and get the Ascendance on all of the ads, get the Stormkeeper out, nuke those ads so that you don't wipe, and then go straight back to the boss. This is still going to be optimal because you're going to have your lightning rod on the boss hopefully before the ads spawn, and you're going to blast the boss for a lot of damage even with the Ascendance. The main thing on this fight when you're progressing it the first time is you cannot let that ad transform. After the next intermission phase anyway, when you get to this like 7-minute mark, you are dead because you are going to have a tic-tac-toe regardless at that point. So if you do use it about, let's say you use Ascendant about 520, you will not have it back for the end of the fight. 720, the fight's already over. You just at that point just want to use your Stormkeeper on cooldown and get this down as fast as possible. There is an argument to be made that if the fight is going to last just over 6 minutes, you could use Ascendant at the 4-minute mark and then get it around 6 minutes, and then you could still use it with Potion and with Stormkeeper. As I said before, and I'll keep saying until the cows come home, you need to know how long the fight lasts for you. So if you look at your progress pools on this fight and they're lasting around, like, let's say 6:15 at least, then you might as well try to get the 4 Ascendants out and use the Potion on that one. Doing damage on Elemental is about making sure you have the best Ascendant windows possible, especially on fights with ads, because you want Ascendants up when those ads come out. Hopefully this has been informative without being too boring. Please give me your feedback because I want to improve how I'm giving you this information, and I'll see you guys in another video. Thanks for your time.